In information security, one of the things that we quickly realize is that no matter how hard we try to protect an environment and we lock it down, well, guess what? Things happen. Users click on things they shouldn't. The bad guys find a way in. It just happens. So we need to be ready for that. So let's spend some time talking about an incident response plan and the incident response process. So let's start by talking about the difference between a security event and a security incident. Now, an event is when someone accesses a file. So they access a file. And that is actually a security event because when someone accesses it, they use their permissions to do so. And that is defined as a security event, but that's not a bad thing. That's just something related to security that happens. Another example is a firewall blocking something. Well, that happens all the time, and that's not necessarily a bad thing either. So that's a firewall blocks a connection. So it could be like a ping that gets blocked by the firewall. Not something malicious, but it's something that happens. It's security related, so it's a security event. Now, on the flip side, we have security incidents. That's a whole nother animal. That's where an attacker actually is able to compromise something, a system. It could be a system, or it could be a web application that's out there on the web that you use to perform work. It could be anything, but an attacker actually gains access to it and compromises it. Or an attacker maybe performs a denial of service or a distributed denial of service against maybe an application to prevent you from using it. Those are incidents. And these over here were events. There's something that happens that's related to security, but not necessarily a bad thing. So that's the difference between the two. So now let's talk about incident response plans. Now, what is the purpose of an incident response plan? Well, the purpose is to do one thing, and that's to help minimize the impact of an incident. And that's the whole idea behind an incident response plan. It's to make sure that we are ready to deal with an incident. Remember, that's an incident is a bad thing. The attacker gains access to a system or performs a denial of service or something like that. An incident response plan helps us make sure we're ready to deal with that as quickly as possible so that we can minimize the impact. And that is key. Minimize the impact. That's the whole idea behind an incident response plan. Now that we know what a plan's there for, let's talk about the incident response process and what's involved in dealing with an incident. Well, number one within the incident response process, or we call it IR process, is being prepared. And you see here we've got a prep checklist. Well, how are you prepared for this? Well, you have things rolled out and ready to go, like antivirus or endpoint detection and response, some type of endpoint protection. You have intrusion detection systems. You have firewalls. You have lots of security controls out there to help protect against the bad guys. You have policies and procedures, and you provide security training to all your users. And these are different ways to be prepared for an incident. Then step 2 over here is identification and analysis. This is identifying an incident that happens. How do we do that? Well, we analyze stuff. We analyze logs, system logs. We have SIEMs, or security information and event management systems. And a SIEM is a system that other systems send their logs to. It could be network devices. They send their logs to it. Apps up here could send their information to it, their logs. Systems like this send their logs. Servers send their logs in. All types of things can. And these SIEMs analyze all that log data, do event correlation, and they look for activities that are suspicious, and they report them. So it is an automated log review process. And we also listen. I'm going to draw an ear here. This is supposed to be an ear. And that's because we listen to users who report suspicious activities. And a lot of times they'll report phishing emails, and we can tie those to other activities to identify an incident in progress. And that's why step 2 is identification and analysis. Then we go on to step 3 over here. And you'll see there's 3 images. That's because, first of all, we have Containment, we're going to contain it. We're putting it in a cage, we're locking it down, we're isolating the infected systems. Then we eradicate it. We clean that system up. And whether that means removing malware or restoring from backups, maybe. It could be that we have to restore from backup to be sure we have a clean system. And then lastly, recovery, taking that repaired system and putting it back into production so we can use its services again. So these three things here, we have containment, we have eradication, and we have recovery. Those are the three parts involved in that step 3. And then lastly, step 4, where we perform post-incident activities. Now these are things like update rules. And you say update rules, what do you mean? Well, we update antivirus rules, we update firewall rules, we update EDR rules, that's our endpoint detection and response, our endpoint security software rules, all the rules that we can, because we take lessons learned from the incident we just experienced and we put them into new rules to help prevent them with our security controls. Other things we do is we go through a lessons learned process. We sit down and we talk about what happened during the incident. Did we do okay? Were we too slow? Did we find something new that happened that we hadn't experienced before? And if so, then we update our playbooks. Now, a playbook, we'll put down here, update playbook. A playbook is a step-by-step guide, I'm putting parents here, is a guide that walks us through how to respond to an incident. So a very common one is ransomware playbook. So if you get ransomware, you have a step-by-step guide that goes step-by-step through all of the processes you need to follow to respond to ransomware effectively. And these playbooks help us to make sure we can respond quickly and that we can train many people on how to respond to this. Now, the thing is, if we experience something new and we find a better way to handle it, well, that's when we need to update our playbooks so that we can respond it better and more efficiently next time. And lastly, incident response exercises. How are we going to get better? Well, we're going to practice. We're going to practice incident response. Make sure everybody on the team knows their role, knows who they are, and knows how to respond. And that is key. Now, there's two main types of IR exercises. First off is the tabletop exercise, and it's just what you think. You've got a table, you got a bunch of people sitting around the table, and you're talking about incident response. Who has what role, and what does each role do? And how do we go about responding to incidents? Do we have playbooks that we use? Well, that's something everybody would know, and we could talk about it. And in a tabletop exercise, we can use a scenario if we want to kind of do a tabletop walkthrough about who would do what when during that incident. Then we have a simulation. Simulation goes a little more in depth because that is an actual walkthrough of an incident. Each person walks through and pretends to do what they would do during the incident response. The key here is no downtime. We're not going to interrupt services and do a full backup restore. But what we would do is, let's say, for example, one of the things was to restore from backup. Well, if I was the person who had that role, let's say I was the backup role, what I would do is actually go into the backup software. I would log in. I would go through and figure out what I need to restore from backup, and I would go through the process up to the point where I needed to click the go button or the restore button or whatever it is. And I just simply wouldn't click that. But this way I'm walking through, and supervisors can make sure everyone involved really does understand what they're supposed to do and how to do it. And this is how we get better at incident response, through incident response exercises. So that covers our incident response plans, what they're there for, the difference between an event and an incident, and of course the entire process that we talked about, all 4 steps involved. And lastly, our incident response exercises and how they are very important in helping us to get better at incident response. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing. Thanks for watching, and subscribe here to get the latest from CBT Nuggets. And if you're interested in IT career or learning more about IT in general, hey, swing by cbtnuggets.com and sign up for a free trial.